If you're looking to get yourself some brand new games, Xbox Live membership or more, you can check out g2a.com. Link is in the description below. Using that link helps out the channel, and you can also use the code JAY for 3% off your first purchase. Hey there guys, how's it going, and welcome to another Ark on Xbox One PvP video. This is obviously playing on Extinction servers, and settle in guys, because I've got a little bit of a story to tell you about Season 5, what's been happening with it, and all that good stuff. Now first of all, as everyone on YouTube is doing at the moment, if you do enjoy these videos, don't forget to smash that like button guys. It seems like YouTube's algorithm at the moment is highly favoured towards videos that are getting interactions, so likes, comments, bloody blah. You enjoy the videos, make sure you do all of that, because yeah, my videos aren't getting to enough sub boxes at the moment, which I'm being told by multiple sources. Either way, if you want to do that, feel free. If not, it is what it is. We'll work around it. So Season 5, I decided to go primitive, as I'm sure most of you know who watch the live streams. I've done 2 live streams of this season, and I haven't made any proper videos in terms of edited together videos of clips of what's happened like I have with the other seasons of Extinction. Now there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one reason, I just haven't been doing that many videos in the last week or two. As you guys have probably noticed, I've got a lot of things going on outside of YouTube, and I've been a little bit running dry on ideas, which doesn't often happen to me, but I feel like it's needed a little bit, because as of right now uploading this video, I've actually come up with loads of series ideas, things to have going forward, so I think I needed a little bit of just a cooling down period when it came to the creative side of YouTube, and I can assure you there is lots and lots of content to come that I'm very excited about making, so that's all good. So I'd been looking forward to this season for a while. The previous season ended at the end of October, so we had to wait 2 weeks to actually start up afresh. We didn't play for a few days, nearly a week, and our base got wiped on that last season while we weren't online, so there wasn't much to go back to, and we just had to wait for them to reset. We were really excited about them resetting, although there was a bug which still exists, and for those of you who play Extinction servers, you'll probably know that every time Ark does an update at the moment, the server timers on the Extinction servers resets to 30 days. Now this is a real shame. People like me, and I'm sure some of you who enjoy Extinction, it makes it just a real mess. You never know when you're really at. You never know when they're actually going to reset the timer, or are they going to just keep doing this forever. Wildcard, I believe, is aware of the issue. They just haven't found the root of the problem, so there's no fix for now, although I'm sure if they looked into it properly they could find a fix. I mean, these guys, you know, programmed a whole game. I'm sure they can find out why a number on a server is happening, so hopefully that will be fixed soon. But either way, that was one of the reasons it was kind of a bit of a messy transfer between last season and this season. Also this season I obviously was a lot more open about the server I'm on. First of all, because it's primitive, so that narrows it down to a maximum of 4 or 5 servers. I think there is primitive PvP Extinction servers, and also I live streamed it, so I showed a lot of the footage, and a lot of people figured out what the server number was. Now at first I wasn't actually too worried about that, and that kind of was almost the plan. The first few days on this server, it was very, very empty, very, very dead, and there was just no real PvP happening because there was under 10 people on the server all the time. So that's why I decided to stream it, spice it up a little bit. Maybe a few of you guys would join the server, make some cool tribes, some cool bases, and just populate it a little bit. Well, I should have known better than that, and all that we got was basically trolls for the first week, basically, even into the second week of people really knowing what server this was on. And I'll tell you at the end of the video what server this is, because why not? I think the server's a bit of a mess at the moment. But yeah, we just got trolls, and by trolls I mean everyone was just joining, running over to where our base was, just trying to drain plants, trying to knock us out with clubs as low levels, not building a base themselves, just basically using every cheap low level tactic to just annoy us, instead of rather spending time actually making their own defendable base, getting tames for bigger raids and so on. Just stuff that was going to amuse them, because I was live streaming at the time and they knew that they would get a couple of minutes of stream time, and that's all that they wanted. Should have expected it really. I actually thought that more people would actually join the server and make a proper effort to make a tribe and whatever. Either way, it was pretty unrelenting after a large crowd of people found out what server we were on. We actually had a base over on Haterville Island, and it was actually not a bad base. It wasn't the worst base ever. But then one Sunday morning, I decided to log on. A lot of you seem to think that I have some huge mega tribe where I have loads of subscribers or viewers do loads of work for me, and then I just log on and then just do the videos. I wish that was the case sometimes, but my tribe is quite a small tribe. I can't even think of a time where we've had more than 3 people online this whole season. And the reason is this season I just wanted to keep it a small tribe of people I knew. Less chance of being insided. I didn't have huge plans this season, just it's primitive so you can make things pretty quickly and so on. So we actually have quite a small tribe this season, as we have many other seasons. So although you might see some of the bases sometimes and think, oh well, you know, Jay just gets people to farm for him, trust me when I say I am working extremely hard whenever I'm doing actual PvP. Not many people play on official servers who make YouTube videos, and there's a reason, because it is a grind, guys. So yeah, it can take a lot of work, and we had an okay base, but one Sunday morning I logged on, and all of these guys just got up together, give me loads of abuse in the chat and so on, as you can expect. These kinds of people do. And they just spend, I would say, from 8 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday until 2 a.m. that night, just trying to be a pain at the base. Now, for the first 6-7 hours, there was just me online. I went out there. There was like between 5 and 10 of them, sometimes a few more, sometimes a few less, just constantly spawning at our base with rafts. They ended up breaking one of the spikes on the top and just draining turrets, knocking us out, just making it impossible for us to do anything. Now, of course, in some ways you could say this is quite effective. It was having the plan of where I just couldn't get on with anything, so I was constantly having to worry about these people in and around my base. At the same time, it meant they weren't getting anywhere themselves to actually do a proper end-type raid. So the way it ended up is, at the end of the day, we kind of noticed that most of our plants had been drained. They didn't really have the ability to breach anything, but they had just drained a lot of the plants, and we were feeling like the base there was just so easy to get to for easy low levels, or people who were low level, that we thought we should end up moving. So we actually, on the sneak, made another base up in the volcano, and we actually have another base somewhere else, but I'm not going to tell you guys about that one, because that's one that not even the people on the server know about. So we made some different bases. We actually moved over there on the sly, and then we let them just keep raiding that. But I've got to say, guys, it was such an annoying, frustrating day. The fact that I only had me on as well to defend against all these people who just had no real plans to do some like fun PvP. And for me, I like you say, I don't enjoy just, you know, hundreds, obviously it wasn't hundreds, but like being outnumbered by people just running around with clubs and then talking smack in the chat every time someone clubs you out. I know, right trigger, it's a skill, but either way, it was a very, very frustrating day, and this server has basically been dead apart from people who just want to wind me up. So it's been very difficult for me to make videos on. There's no real basis for me to raid properly. Any PvP is just pretty non-existent because most of the people haven't built proper bases. They just live on rafts and they live hidden, and the server's been pretty dead, which is why I'm going to give out the server number at the end of the video. So what you're seeing here is, well, these trolls basically made a mistake. They made an actual base. This is never a good idea if you're just a little troll who, number one, doesn't know how to make a properly secure base, and number two, actually hasn't teched up as fast as the people who are playing properly have teched up. And this is a perfect showcase here of how you can get through a base of someone who doesn't know what they're doing and also just doesn't spend enough time breaching things. It's a little bit anticlimactic to me because obviously it's not that much of an exciting breach, but it just shows you guys that it can be done. And as soon as these people set up somewhere, we knew that we would have them because we still had all of our good tames. They did kill a lot of our tames, by the way. It's not like this is some kind of some kind of raid where we're just being nasty, just trying to demolish their stuff or whatever for the fun. They basically got rid of all of our plant species X just through throwing dead bodies at them. They killed our T-Rex, they killed all our Stegos, anything that was out in the open over on the Herbivore Island base, they killed it, and just nothing but trolling it and abuse in the chat. So we thought, you know, as soon as they built a base, we let them build up a bit, and we just took it out super easy, and this is what you're seeing here. Now, they weren't offline, they must have logged off for the night, didn't really know that at the time, but obviously it makes it a ton easier, and I don't even feel guilty about it, to be honest. Like, the world of Arc PvP, it doesn't wait for people, it doesn't stop when you log off. That's what makes it so important. That's what makes it so important to build a base that is really, really hard to raid, guys. Like, I know, I mean, I don't look but like being offline raided, no one does particularly, but at the same time, I build my base so it's very difficult to offline raid, and if someone does offline raid my base, especially after a few weeks, then I can give them some props, because it's not easy to do, because I have built my base in such a way, and if I did make it so it's extremely easy to breach, then that's on me. A big part of Arc PvP is base building. It just is a big part of PvP, because it's where you keep your stuff. You can build your stuff hidden, but then you can't have that much stuff, and there's not much room, or you can build out in the open, but then there's the risk, but you get the advantage of being able to store more things out in the open, and that's just what the balance of Arc PvP is. So here what you're seeing is it was quite funny, actually. We found this little base on the top. They built in the hidden lake, which is also known as the Northern Oasis. They had quite a lot of plant species, but we noticed that we could not only start to drain some of their plant species from the top, not even using anything. And by the way, this is one of the reasons I wasn't that keen about uploading this video. It kind of shows you that you can drain plant species relatively easily without tames. We did have plans to breed our carbon emies. We got a quets. We had plans to set up a ballista raft and a turret up here, and if you guys do want to see some of that breaching with like ballistas and catapults and how that all works, I can do that for you, because it is kind of a cool part of this, but we didn't need to do that here, and it's a shame, really. We ended up just using one of my tribe mates' amazing melee. He had like 300% melee and a journeyman hatchet, and we just hatcheted the doors down. It took quite a while, but yeah, we managed to do it. So what you're going to see first of all is my man Caddick here just smashing through the base up the top. We had time. I'd only just logged on. I was watching out for him. We just sat there. We broke through. It was actually quite funny. They did quite well. They must have had about 8 doors in the way of where they actually were in this base, and I've got to give them some credit for that. Now, it wouldn't have been possible to do this if they had more plant species around in difficult to drain positions, but they didn't. That's an overlook on their part. They just relied on the fact that they had quite a few doors, but if you've got patience, you got someone with big melee with a good hatchet or sword, then they're gonna break through eventually, and that's what we had. So we broke in there. We ended up going up to the smithy up the top, and there was 2 of their people in there. And originally, that's all we thought we were going to do, because there were so many plant species below that we weren't going to be able to get to the rest of the base. But we got up there. Smithy had some okay stuff in here. We had some journeyman kiting armor, bits and bobs. I think there was a mastercraft bow in there. And because these guys were such trolls and such wind-ups, we decided to handcuff both of these guys, over-encumber them, and strip them naked. So basically, the 2 guys that logged out in there were kind of screwed when they got on. Now, I wasn't actually aware how many people were in this tribe. I thought it was like 2 or 3 maybe, because the base didn't look that big for a tribe that would be more than that. And this tribe is actually based out of one bigger tribe. The bigger tribe that was originally trolling me split up into 2 tribes, and this tribe, which is actually called Roadkill, was the one that was the larger tribe out of the 2, it turns out. Once we eventually broke through, I mean, we must have killed about at least 10 people, well, found at least 10 bodies, so they actually had a fair few people. I didn't realise that. I thought it was just 2 or 3. But yeah, we broke through there. So once we broke in through the top, got that smithy, we thought, well, let's see if we can drain a few of these plants. We managed to use the cliff edge of the oasis to drain the plant species and drain a lot of them. Now, they could have stopped this. To be fair, this really shouldn't be a mechanic in the game. I shouldn't be able to drain a plant species, but the hit detection on Arc is very sketchy, especially around some rocks and things like that. The meshes aren't quite 100% accurate, and what I think it was doing is the plant species were detecting our heads but aiming to shoot our bodies. So as long as we could let certain plant species just see the top of our heads, they would shoot at us, but as long as our bodies were blocked, then they wouldn't actually hit us. And I believe you can do this with windows as well, if you can get close enough. There used to be a thing with dodos where you could do this, but I believe they patched that. But this just goes to show It's still not 100% fixed. It could be improved a little bit. But to be fair, these guys didn't place their plant species very well at all. This could have been stopped if they'd have had multiple plant species on multiple levels. Also, it wouldn't have been possible if they'd built in a larger, flatter area rather than against a big cliff face. This is one of the problems about building against a cliff face. Unless the cliff face is very high and very steep, so people can't jump on different ledges of it, it is very, very easy to drain because you can use each edge of the cliff face to keep draining and draining. So we had a few of us. All we had to do is just go there and then just stand up next to the things and just wait for them to drain. So first plan of action was to try and get into their pen. Obviously they had killed a lot of our stuff, and we did eventually break into the pen. We drained the turrets from the top of there. We broke in. They had one pteranodon on neutral. Everything else was on passive, so obviously no problems there. And what do you know, there was actually a Mastercraft pteranodon saddle in there. That is probably one of the best things I've ever found. So already this whole thing has been worth it. Although to be fair, this was probably more of a revenge, kind of a we were just teaching these guys a lesson, really, that, you know, he who works hardest will often have the last laugh. So we broke into the pen, killed all their dinos. Many of them were called things like JX Killer, blah blah, whatever. These guys, their whole existence on this server revolved around trolling me. I guess in a way it's a compliment, but I just wish they'd spent more time just building a proper base, maybe having some prop PvP, less time just dicking around, just trying to troll me, typing a load of smack in chat, and maybe they would have had a slightly harder base to breach. So we got in there, killed all that stuff, and then after that there was only really one more building to breach. It was a 3x3. We managed to breach that eventually by using the roof of the other building. So for example, when you see us actually breaching here, if they had had plant species on different levels, we wouldn't have been able to breach the roof so easy. Like, if they'd had more in difficult to reach places, this probably wouldn't have happened. I mean, obviously, if we had time and we wanted to, we could have drained this stuff with probably the turtles. But at the same time, they could have done a lot better of the plant species placement. We had some players with high melee as well, so we could just smash through the walls. We used loads of hatchets. We had like ramshackle and journeyman hatchets, smash through the walls, which you can do with stone, obviously, which is kind of interesting and a little bit different. And we managed to get into their actual base where they had all their storage, all their players, bloody blah, and we wiped them. We didn't really show any mercy. At first I was actually just going to handcuff the guys up the top and then leave them to it. Just a little bit of fun. They'd log on, they'd be handcuffed, they'd be like, oh my word, what the heck is going on here, bloody blah. But encouraged by my teammates as well, who've had to deal with these guys, we just thought, let's just show them that they can be wiped, and maybe they shouldn't be so excited about just trolling us. So looks like we basically wiped these guys from the server. I think they may come back, who knows, but I'm going to tell you guys right now, there's no one really to fight on this server. There are some people playing, there are no real big tribes, and I'm not really sure where it's going at the moment because there's not enough PvP really for much footage, and I might be playing PS4 soon. Some of you guys know that the PS4 version has actually passed certification, which means it is qualified really to be a game that they can release on PS4. Sony have said, yep, this game is fine, you can release it. So now it's just all about when they release it and how they release it, so that could be happening very soon. So without any further ado, guys, I'm expecting at any moment after I post this, we will just not be able to rest whatsoever. But if you want to come build up, and please try and actually build up properly, like instead of just trolling. I mean, if you want to do that, people are gonna do that, it's fine, but it would be fun to have a full server full of different tribes making cool bases and doing cool things, and not only just fighting us. If you want to like be on our side and fight against us, that'll be, or fight with us against other people who want to be a part of us, then obviously just let us know in the side chat. Maybe we'll consider aligning, maybe not. But the server number is 629. So if you want to play, guys, see you on 629. We've played plenty of this, and we're kind of getting frustrated where it's like there's not that much action, and we're kind of the top dogs. We're more than ready to kind of, if not be wiped, at least have a good challenge. So whatever will be, will be. And also, this is a little bit of a tester, because next extinction season on Xbox, I actually plan on doing what I was going to call a chaos season, where I was going to invite everyone to get involved. The basic premise was I was going to take me me and also a high-ranking member of my tribe, we were going to make 2 separate tribes, and we were going to allow all of you guys to join the tribe. I mean, everyone. And you could either choose my tribe or the other guy's tribe. Obviously, we'd try and split it, so not everyone was in my tribe, but we were just going to do that, and we were going to agree that if anyone breaches the other team's base, like, I mean, actually tries to wipe their base within the first 2 weeks, they get kicked from the tribe. So we were going to try and make 2 of the biggest tribes you could make. I know it would be an absolute mess, but I think it could be at least a fun experiment. If it all goes terribly wrong, you know, we'll do something else. It is what it is. So the idea would be 2 massive tribes. If you want to get involved with that, make sure you're on my Discord channel. Link is in the description below. I'm not sure when that will be happening. It might be in a week, it might be in 4 weeks, but look out for that, because I am planning on doing that. And I think it will almost go to prove to you guys as well how difficult it is for me to actually get you guys involved in these servers without it being a complete mess. But who knows, maybe you guys will prove me wrong. Maybe if the majority is on the side of making it a fun thing that can actually work, who knows, maybe it will end up being a cool thing. But either way, that's it for this video, guys. I know I've waffled on a little bit, and maybe the footage hasn't been too exciting, just a little bit of base breaching, but it is what it is. I wanted to inform you guys about what's going on at the moment, where I'm going with the channel, videos that are coming out, and why the videos have been like they have for the last few weeks. And of course, if you haven't already and you forgot to at the beginning of the video, now's a great chance to smash that like button. But other than that, I'm out for now, guys. I'll see you all next time.